What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dev and the Bear. Today we have two very special guests with us today. We have Ethan, Nguyen, and Javi. Both Ethan is a amateur surfer right now who travels all across the country to do surfing competitions, and Javi is also a professional photographer who we decided to bring on the set today. Talk with these guys. They know Zach personally, so he said some great things about them. So we figured we'd try to give them the best spotlight that we could to come on and share some stories with us. And so yeah.
Hi guys.
Hey, what's up?
I'm Javi.
I'm Ethan.
Nice to meet y'all. Well, shit, I just met y'all, but you know.
Yeah, you're pretty cool. You're alright.
I mean, you weren't my first option. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, dude.
What?
Nothing.
All right.
Well,
What's up?
So where do we start?
Yeah, I was about to say. So basically, what we're just gonna be kind of talking. We're just gonna be hanging out.
Chit-chatting.
We got plenty of topics that we can talk about. We can talk surfing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the boxing world right now. If y'all know boxers, David Hay, and just won a fight. It was pretty okay. It was by decision. Tito Ortiz, Anderson Silva. Y'all know them?
Yep.
I know Anderson
Tina
Silva. Yeah.
Ortiz.
Anderson Silva just knocked out Tito Ortiz. It was pretty dirty. The main event was Evander Holyfield.
Mm-hmm.
Know him. Yep.
Guy that got his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson, boxed Vitor Belfort. Yeah. And
Does he
Vitor
still have
Belfort.
ears?
Yeah, he's got ears.
They sewed it back on.
Does it look weird?
I don't think it does.
It's either weird because he gets punched in the head for a living for like 30 years, or it's weird because he got sewn back on, or both.
That's crazy.
Mike Tyson said it tasted like shit when they asked him what his ear tastes like.
People eat ears, like pig ears and shit.
Yeah, but it's like pickled pig ears and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Asian people do it all the
I want
time.
to taste human ears. Is that weird?
A little bit.
A little bit.
But yeah, so that fight happened last night. Evander Holyfield is a 58-year-old man, decided to come back to boxing.
He's fucking old.
Yeah, so back in like 2012 and 2014, he tried to come back to boxing, and he couldn't pass the physicals in like 2 states. But Triller, being the piece of shits they are, brought this man back, and it was just, I don't know, it was really sad to see.
This was Vitor's pro boxing debut, and he knocked him out.
And so Vitor Belfort is
dirty.
a professional fighter as well. He's from Brazil.
Mhm.
He trains with the Ruka guys also.
Yeah.
He is fucking roided to the gills. Like, this motherfucker, it takes a ton of steroids. He's notorious.
Yoked.
Yeah, like, he is yoked. And
Shit.
he's in like better shape than he was when he was 19 when he made his debut in the UFC back in like 1999. He went out there and knocked out Evander Holyfield in a fight that should have just never happened. At one point, like, Evander Holyfield tried to throw a hook, and he almost ate his shit, like, trying to throw a punch. And it just wasn't, I don't know. It's just really sad to watch. And so, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm watching it right now.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. He's hitting him. He's still hitting him. He died. He's dead.
And so Vitor kind of celebrated the win like it was a big deal, but it's like, you know, look who you just beat. I mean, that guy's a shell of himself.
And he wants to call out Jake Paul, and I understand it. Vitor's trying to make some money, but it's so sad that you have someone of Vitor's stature and legacy has to call out someone like Jake Paul, who's a joke.
Yeah,
It's for the money, bro.
yeah.
I mean, Jake's not a bad fighter.
No, he's not. He's a good boxer.
No, he's not.
And I mean, compared to these MMA guys he's beating, I'd say he's a pretty good boxer.
I think it's rigged.
I mean, probably it is, honestly.
It's all
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get about like fights and shit. Like, there's too much money in it.
Yeah, well, boxing specifically, yeah. There's
Especially like with the TikTokers and the YouTubers. And
y'all heard
everything.
about that shit with Austin McBroom?
Bro,
No.
he got fucked.
Dude, that dude, I sent this to Zach yesterday. My coworker brought it up to me and was like, dude, have you ever heard about that shit, the social gloves? And he explained to me what was the YouTube versus boxing shit. So Austin McBroom pulled a fucking fire festival and didn't pay anybody. And it's like $115 million lawsuits on him and shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he didn't pay the fighters, he didn't pay the entertainment, paid nobody, took that money and fucking dipped. And he's in a lot of shit right now. Like, he's getting sued to like he's gonna be, I don't know how long it's gonna take him, but he's in a lot of like really bad stuff right now.
I bet,
like
yeah.
he's gonna have criminal charges on him and stuff.
This just
So,
happened?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it all came because like TikTokers and YouTubers were speaking out saying, well, like I never got paid.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
And so out somebody randomly had the paperwork, and they were like, "Hey, we have the fucking, this is who owns Social Gloves," because they couldn't find out who owned the Social Gloves, and found out it was that guy, and yeah, he's pretty much just in a bunch of shit.
He's fucked everybody over.
Yeah, and so, yeah, what, don't fucking
Nothing, Devin.
go ahead, go.
They're fighting? Guys, they're fighting? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. He's standing up? Oh, he's got a knife?
What are you doing?
Sorry.
Anyway,
Always wanted to do that.
so let's go on to surfing.
Yeah.
Ethan.
That's you, man.
Yeah, so I've been surfing for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And my friend brought me into it. And I'll be honest with this. Surfing saved my life. I don't talk about that too much, but surfing literally saved my life.
Right.
I was just in a bad spot emotionally. There were just things going on after, and I was dealing with depression, anxiety for the first time in my life ever. I've never dealt with anything like that before, and I got into it, and I actually was hooked into it before I actually surfed. So before I even surfed, I never tried to rent out a board or anything like that. I just got right into it. I bought my own board. Before I even learned how to surf, I got out there, and it's just a thrill whenever you actually go surfing. I was with my buddy Michael, and he taught me how to surf and everything like that. And the very first wave that I caught, I'll never forget it. I was belly boarding because I didn't know how to stand up yet, so I was just laying on the board. And he was right next to me, belly boarding too, even though he knew how to stand up. And we were riding this wave together. And then at that moment, that's when I knew that I was hooked into surfing. And it brought me out of all of that. Surfing's my release. I always go out there to kind of clear my mind, just focus on what's in front of me, and just have a lot of fun out there. And anyone that surfs is typically going to react the same way and explain surfing in the same way. Anyone that truly surfs is going to say the same thing. That when they're out there and they're surfing, they're having fun, but it's also their place to get away. Every surfer is going to say that. Any real surfer is going to say that. And yeah, it's just been a journey for these past few months, years, from where I started and where I've progressed to. It's been a lot of fun, actually. I've learned a whole lot. I was in California a month back, surfing and taking lessons over there, and it's a completely different ballgame than Galveston, and Surfside in general. But every time that I'm out there, I always learn something new. Doesn't matter whether or not I'm popping up on my board a different way or turning on waves, carving, it doesn't matter. I'm always learning something new when I'm out there. And even the oldest surfers that I see out there, I think the oldest guy that I've seen out there was in his 70s. He talks about it too, and he told me that he learned something new. Yeah, 70. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's no age limit for surfing. I started surfing when I was 18, and I'm 20 now. So there's no age limit when it comes to surfing. You can surf at any age. That's what I love about it.
2 years old?
2 years old. I've seen 3-year-olds out there on little mini surfboards.
Yeah, same with skateboarding.
So I've seen dads push their kids in the waves, and I hope to do that one day too.
It's cute.
It is cute. It is.
That really is, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute when you see these little kids pop up for the first time, and they're all wobbly and they're shaking. But there's no age limit to surfing, and everyone's out there to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So the first time that you popped up to your feet?
Was on actually the very first day that I surfed.
Really?
So I popped up the very first day that I surfed, and my friend said that it took him a couple tries, but it just seemed really natural to me. I popped up my first day that I was out there, maybe 5 or 6 waves later. Not for very long, of course, but I popped up for sure. Even if it was for like a second or 2 seconds, I was starting to pop up. But the way that I started to where I am now with surfing, I progressed a lot. I can start to carve on the waves. I am an amateur, so
You shred the gnar?
I do shred the gnar.
I thought you were a professional.
I'm not a professional by any means. those guys, I have a lot of respect for them. I've spent a lot of time just watching clips of these pro surfers, whether they be on short boards or long boards. It doesn't matter. I watch the way that they pop up on their boards, the way they surf these waves. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out how to turn on the waves. I've always tried to move my feet. And the way that you actually do pop up on your board is actually by looking at where you want to turn. So a lot of turning on waves is just basically looking wherever you want to go. So if you look right, you're going to go right. If you look left, you're going to go left. And so starting to pop up on my board, instinctively I look down at my board and I look up. So I'm looking straight ahead. So I'd always go straight on these waves. So a big turning point in the surfing was actually looking at which way I wanted to go down the wave. And that's probably one of the best parts of surfing, when you're actually going down a wave and you're seeing this wave right next to you and you're right in it, especially the big waves too. A lot of people don't believe that you can surf in Galveston or in Texas in general just because we don't have the waves. But I've been out there where I've seen 7 to 6 foot waves, and I've had just as much fun as anywhere else in the world out there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what was it like, going from, surfing in Galveston and surfing in Huntington Beach then?
It was a completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
Completely different. So I actually had someone tell me the last time I went out surfing, which was maybe a week ago, he said that if you could surf in Galveston, you can surf anywhere in the world. It's just because in Galveston, our swells, a lot of it has to do with our power. So a lot of us pumping our arms to get on those waves. Anywhere else in the world, it's not that case.
The water does it for you?
The water does it for you, yeah. So the water basically carries you. So when I was in Huntington, just a little paddle, not too hard or anything like that, I was already catching the wave. Completely different ball game. And so I wasn't used to that because I was paddling as hard as I could, just like I was in Galveston. But I didn't need that much, and I got too far in front of the wave. So in those kind of places, you need a little paddle, and then boom, you're on that wave and you're going on it. And as far as Galveston goes, it's actually a pretty difficult spot to learn how to surf. Because of the swell and everything like that, you need to use a lot of your power. And I didn't have that before. And so because of surfing, I have a lot of shoulder strength and a lot of back strength from that. Because surfing primarily is an upper body sport. And I wouldn't even call it a sport, and I'll talk about that later. But surfing is primarily an upper body sport and a lower back sport. You almost never feel sore in your legs after you surf. But your shoulders, your arms, they hurt like hell the next morning in your lower back because you have to paddle a lot. And in Galveston, too, a lot of our waves are a lot further back. So there are times when you have to surf, when you have to paddle out 100 yards out, 200 yards out to even get out to where the good waves are. And so I think my first time surfing, it was just such a struggle getting out there because I wasn't used to going into waves or anything like that.
Yeah. It
was just straight paddling, and it honestly was like hell for the very first time. And eventually I got used to it. So when I was in Huntington and I was surfing in California, surf capital of the world, you didn't have to go very far out, maybe 60, 70 yards max, and you were just right out there on the lineup with everyone. It wasn't an extreme paddle at all. And so I had a lot more dexterity than some of the guys out there, the amateur guys out there that I was surfing with.
What about you, Javi? You shred the concrete, nah?
Oh, land surfing, right?
Yeah, I don't really know how to like go after that, but skating is a lot like similar. It's a lot of upper body. Like you gotta move your body to like direct the board and everything. I mean, I've been skating for a while. I don't really have that many tricks under my belt.
Can you do a kickflip?
Because I'm scared. Nah, I can do some pop shove-its. My dream trick is a nollie tray flip, though.
A lot of surfers will actually skate to help with their surfing. A lot of beginners will actually learn. They have specialized surfboards or skateboards that actually mimic how it feels to be on a surfboard when you're pumping the board.
Really?
So you're
They do.
saying
That's cool.
skating
I was-
is easier than surfing?
I wouldn't say it's easier. I actually find skating harder than surfing.
Because you said that you would skate to get better at surfing.
I would
to help you.
I would skate on specialized boards to help me with surfing.
kidding.
That's
I was actually thought about something. Why isn't there like electric surfboards?
they do
Oh.
have them. They do have them.
What does it do?
So it basically has a motor where
Huh.
the fins are, and it's kind of like skating on the water. So there might be a day with no waves, and you can surf, and just basically cruise on the water because it's electric powered. But I mean, I haven't thought about getting those boards because they are a lot of money. We're talking about
You're not
Why?
a purist.
no,
You're
not
not like,
at all.
nah, that's these dang kids.
That's not surfing.
That's not surfing, no. But they have fins too that have little motors that help you get out there too, and it's all remote controlled in your
Mhm.
hand. You can push the button and it kind of helps you get out
I've
there.
seen people on skateboards like that.
Yeah, they have that for
booster
surfing.
Sure.
That's what they're called.
Okay.
It's just like
Just kidding.
it's not like super big yet. So, the ones that I were looking at were in the thousands range. So
10,000?
is literally a $15,000 surfboard
Oh,
with a
fuck
motor
you.
on it.
That's like
Yeah,
a-
like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna spend
That's
money
like a
on
nice
that when I
car,
can
bro.
just use my arms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, I could get a used car for that much and a
Yeah,
nice
arms
one
are
too.
free.
Yeah.
I think.
Nah.
but maybe if they become cheaper and they're more mainstream, then definitely I'll
Yeah.
definitely consider using one.
Well,
of
that's how
boards.
those like they talk about the remote controlled skateboards were. They were really expensive when they first came out, and then they became very much more affordable
Mhm.
as they became more popular. And stuff.
Yeah,
So
and surfing is a popular sport, but it's
Yeah.
not a mainstream sport in that sense.
never
It is
watched.
mainstream, but like it's not super mainstream.
is it one?
Kelly Slater.
Kelly Slater, that's
She's
someone
hot.
that I
She's
watch
hot.
a lot of clips on.
What?
What'd you say?
I said she's hot.
She's
he.
He's like a 60-year-old man.
So yeah, he's 49,
49.
time world champ. He's still surfing competitively.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is surfing one of those sports that no matter how old you can get, you can always do it?
No,
You
he
can
said
always do
any
it,
age.
Skating's
but
like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Danny Way. I mean, fuck, dude. He's still. I think he still competes in like.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, he's like 89.
Yeah.
It fucking looks like it.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as surfing goes, I was actually listening to a podcast with Kelly Slater and Joe Rogan, and he had talked about that. So right now, Kelly is actually the oldest guy that's ever been on tour.
I believe it.
Yeah, because before surfing, like I said, wasn't really mainstream,
Yeah.
and there wasn't a lot of money that you could make off of surfing unless you were super high in the leaderboards. And so, and Kelly was always up high in the leaderboards. I mean, 11-time world champ. But now it's to the point where a lot of guys are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying before, surfing isn't something that I really consider a sport. It's something that I don't think should be a sport because a lot of surfing is luck. So
Really?
it is. So, I mean, you could have an amateur like me surfing with the best surfer in the world. And at the end of the day, it comes to whoever gets the best waves.
Yeah.
I mean, basketball,
facts.
there's
I
always a
didn't think
court,
about
there's
that.
a ball. Soccer, same thing, a goal on the ball. But with surfing, the waves are always going to be different. You're never going to surf the same wave twice. Never. The waves are always going to change. You have to read that. And so you'll see a lot of matchups in the professional league where you'll see guys that weren't expecting to do well beat someone that's a top contender just because they have the luck of the waves coming their way.
I bet if you had that $15,000 board, you could surf the same wave.
I bet it wouldn't
You
be.
could surf it, and then it would pass you, and then you
Why
can
don't
speed up
they-
and go back to it.
If it's a sport, why don't they make like synthetic waves?
They do.
Like
They
go to
do,
Schlitterbahn.
yeah.
They
The wave
do.
pool.
They do. So
Wave pool.
Waco's
Schlitterbahn?
about 3 hours from here.
Schlitterbahn.
Yeah.
They have a man-generated wave, so that's a pretty popular spot amongst even pro surfers. I tried to book a session there, and it's booked all the way through December already. Yeah, so it's man-generated. And Kelly Slater, we were talking about him.
She's hot.
He's got, yeah, he is. He's got one in California, where you can surf a wave up to a minute, and it's completely man generated. They got hydrofoils that go back and forth down his park, and you can surf those waves for a long time, and it even barrels over too. So they'll have surf competitions there too. So yeah, there's definitely waves like that around here.
That's one thing I just remembered. The thing I like about skating is it's like the only sport without rules. Like anybody can just make something up,
Yeah.
and it's a trick.
And Tony Hawk,
Anything can be a trick.
Pro Skater Underground 2,
Yeah, I've seen it.
you can grind on the roof and it gets you more points.
Yeah, I want to make up a trick. Like I was thinking about this trick. It's like you do a kickflip, but with your body.
What do you mean?
All right.
Who is this isn't skating, but there's a motocross rider who did something like that. Like instead of doing a backflip, because that's what everybody would do in those competitions, like the X Games and shit,
Yeah.
he did a backflip on his bike, like himself. Like he threw himself and did a backflip. Can't remember who it was, dude, but
Like holding onto the bike.
yeah, like he was holding onto the bike and he throws himself up and his bike's still going and he does a backflip
Oh
while
yeah,
it's
I
going
think
down.
yeah.
And it
That's
was
crazy.
I don't know, it was nuts, dude. And
Those tricks are fucking crazy. I don't know how they do that.
well,
shit.
it's like when you talk about like inventing tricks, I think of like Rodney Mullen. Like
Yep.
that dude is just when he does it, like that dude does like long math problems for fun and shit. Like ones that like take up the whole whiteboard and shit. Like
Oh,
you would
shit.
see in like Goodwill Hunting. Like he does, like he just enjoys that. And like I remember, I'm not sure if you ever seen it, like 5 or 6 years ago. He has a video of him like unveiling all these new tricks that he's made up that no one has seen before.
Mhm.
And it's just insane to watch somebody do that. I mean, that dude's brain, he's like fucking Rain Man when it comes to skating. So
Yeah, he's the one that started all the flip tricks and shit. He invented the ollie,
yeah,
kickflip. Because before then, it was just freestyling.
yeah.
It was just like stationary tricks.
You watch guys like Jay Adams or like was that Stacy something? I can't remember his name.
Peralta.
Yeah.
She's hot.
Or what's it called? Or like
The
even
guy.
like who's that? Tony? What was his last name?
Alba.
Yeah, like you watch guys like them, like their type of skating was kind of ahead.
The Dogtown Bull.
Was just like the type of skating they did was just very stationary.
Mhm.
Except for Jay Adams though, he kind of was one of the guys that would like kind of push the push the standard. Yeah, kind of like how Rodney Mullen was doing it. Like Jay Adams was one of the guys who would actually go on a half pipe and try to like grind up on it and stuff like that.
I like Ronnie Mullen because he kind of mixes like street skating and freestyle.
Yeah.
Like he would do like a kickflip to, I don't even know what it's called, when you're like kind of manualing but on primo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to call that either.
I don't know how they fucking do that
Primo
shit.
manual.
But they're like kind of sideways, so they're still
in
rolling on the
cars
wheels.
here in Houston, we call that tipping.
Yeah, tipping.
And so like he what's that? Or
Tipping on bubbles.
when y'all talk about like competitions and stuff that people like consider like skating a sport as well, is like I think of like how what's that guy's name? Najaya Houston.
Nigel Houston, fuck that guy, dude.
And everyone says that. And
I hope he dies in a fire.
Why?
Go ahead.
Jesus. Apparently though he gets a bunch of shit because
He's a dick.
well that too, but mainly because like when it came to skating, like he was good at it, so he would purposely go in competitions just to make a shit ton of money. And they were like, and he got shit for it because it's like if it's skating, like you should love it. You shouldn't be trying to do this for the money. But
Yeah.
But then what's the point of having a competition with the grand prize?
if you're good at something, don't do it for free.
Yeah, go out there and make a ton of money.
I just hate him because I'm jealous.
I thought he
just-
said he was a dick.
I just want to do a kickflip, man.
Every time I see you now, I'm gonna roll down my window and yell at you to do a kickflip.
Dude, I don't know why I can't freaking land a kickflip.
Can you do varials?
Have you seen that?
I've
Vine?
never done any flip trick.
Have you seen that fucking Vine where he's like, I
can
thought you said
what?
you could do a kickflip. I can't do a kickflip. Like,
I can.
I just did it.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you about your photography. So how did that really come about?
Because you do post some pretty good pictures.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. As a kid, I always thought I didn't have any talent. I'm not saying I'm talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You talking shit?
Yeah.
But I guess I have an eye for it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Everybody says I have good pictures. The only thing I'm not good at is like the technical aspect. I don't know how like cameras work, like aperture, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I can just like.
Well, I know aperture is how much they accept light.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, then you know how aperture works.
I was just saying camera stuff.
Oh.
But I need to like learn how to do all that shit. I want to learn how to do Photoshop. Because I was telling Zach earlier, I always have like these, not visions, but like I can always see these images.
Yeah.
But I don't have a way of like transferring it to like any sort of media.
Yeah.
So I really want to learn Photoshop. Just like do cool stuff with my pictures.
Because I've seen some of your pictures, and they're really, really good pictures.
I appreciate that, bro.
For sure.
How long have you been taking pictures?
I'd say like 4 years or something. I always just did it on my phone.
If you're interested in looking at Javi's pictures, you can go to Instagram and look at Hi, I'm Javi, I take pictures.
Yeah, hi, I'm Javi, I take pictures, but there's an underscore under every word.
After every word.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But you did.
Rewind the tape.
So surfing and skating are pretty, thrill-seeking
Right.
sports. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? They got your heart rate going.
Craziest thing I've ever done.
You ever killed somebody?
No.
What's the craziest?
Craziest thing I've ever done was probably when it came to surfing.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so we were actually out on a day, and it was cloudy, and there were a lot of rain clouds. And I didn't think that I was going to be able to catch any waves just because the storm was coming in. And there were just a lot of bad omens leading up to going out into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I didn't end up surfing, but I was very, very close. So the first thing that we saw, as soon as we parked the car, we see a 6 or 7 foot black tip breach out of the water twice. It breached out of the water, maybe like 30 or 40 yards inshore.
Fuck no.
So like even closer than where we're gonna paddle out.
Mm.
So I see the shark come out, and I'm like, okay, that's not too bad, it's just a shark.
Oh, it's a shark.
So we moved down a little bit. I'll talk about sharks, but
I didn't know what a black tip was. I wanted to ask.
They have a little black tip on the dorsal fin, and that's how you pretty much know.
Black tip was
That's
his
hot.
dude. No, I'm
That's
just
hot.
kidding. Go ahead.
And so I'm going out there, and we drive down a little bit further just to distance ourselves away.
On the water you're driving?
On the wall, on the
Oh.
wall, and we drive a little further, and we get out, and I see a dolphin skull. I was like, okay, that's another bad omen. That's not great.
Why is that bad?
Yeah, it's freaking lit. Why didn't you grab it?
I didn't want to grab it. It's like I've always seen it there, but like this was another omen that I thought was pretty bad. And a cop comes over to us, and he's like, you boys think that it's a good time to be surfing right now? And we were like, no, but we're going to come out and just surf one wave and come back in. That was our plan. And then as soon as he goes away, I see lightning strike in the water right where we were going to surf. So lightning strikes, and that was pretty much when I was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to surf there. And there's been a couple times where I have seen sharks out there. It's pretty common in Galveston. I think, in my opinion, I see them every now and then when I'm out there, where I'll see sharks out there when I surf. And typically, I'm not too scared of sharks.
Yeah,
when
why are
I'm
you scared
surfing.
of sharks? I can kill him like in 2 seconds.
You're gonna wrestle a shark underwater?
No, I'm gonna shove my fist in his eyeball.
You gotta
In
fist
his
that
eyeball?
shark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll fist it.
Jesus.
I'll fist
You're
it.
gonna fist a 6-foot bull shark?
Do they have assholes?
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's like a little flap or something.
Oh, I bet. So I've definitely surfed with sharks before. That's something that a lot of people will ask when I do surf. I was talking to you about this earlier,
Right.
but I think the craziest shark experience that I've had, I saw at least 3 sharks. So I paddled out on a day that wasn't so great, and there were no surfers out there, but I decided to drive to the beach and just be on the beach anyways. And so I went out there, I paddled out maybe 100 yards, 150, and I was out there by 91st Pier all by myself, sitting in the water. I saw all the fishermen there, and I see a little 3-foot blacktip swim right in front of me, maybe
3 foot?
6-7 feet in front of my board. I was like,
Just
okay,
right
that's
there,
not
man.
too bad. I mean, I'm gonna stay out here and try to catch a wave. And then a couple moments later, I see a 4-foot shark
Ooh.
go right to the left of me, just out of the corner of my eye.
You're on a surfboard right now.
I'm on a surfboard. I'm laying down on
Okay.
my belly,
Okay.
and I'm seeing these sharks eye level. And so I can see everything on the shark, the head, the dorsal fin, the tail,
Mhm.
everything. And so that's when I started to get a little bit nervous, and I was like, what's going on here? There's 2 sharks. Normally I only see 1, and they go away. And I decided to sit up on my board because I was right in my spot. I was ready to catch a wave. And I feel all these bait fish swimming under my legs. So mullet
What is
running. Mullet, so it's a bait fish. It's what we use to fish for bigger fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
and
it attracts other fish.
well, they school together. So you
Mm.
get predatory fish that try to take out these little fish.
Okay.
And so I'm feeling them run right through my legs, and I'm like, yeah, this is not a good spot. And I see a third shark, and that's when I just decided to start paddling and go back in. I didn't even catch a wave. I just decided to go back in. Since I was at the beach, I just spent the day fishing instead. But I definitely see sharks out there. I'll see dolphins out there. I'll see sea turtles out there.
You've never been attacked?
Never been attacked. Luckily. I've heard a story of a friend of mine or a friend of mine who actually got his pinky bitten off by a shark.
Oh.
So he got his pinky bitten off by a shark, and it was floating. And he grabbed his pinky and he sewed it back on. So that was one pretty crazy story that I've heard out there. And I'll hear stories about people punching sharks and sharks getting way too close and nibbling on their feet. I've definitely felt a shark bump my leg before. And I know it was a shark because it was way bigger than anything that we have out there. I felt something really big bump into my leg and shoot off. I felt the little vortex of it paddling away.
What if it's a dead body?
Then I'd be even more scared. I definitely report that, though.
What about a mermaid? You believe in mermaids?
I feel like there's something out there.
You ever seen Luca?
I've seen Luca, the Disney movie.
Yeah, shit. I love that movie. I'm wearing the shirt right now.
I'm wearing a Huntington Beach
If you guys
hoodie right
can't
now.
see, I'm wearing a Luca shirt. Y'all go watch Luca.
I'm wearing medieval times.
Have you heard of a mantis shrimp?
I have heard of mantis
Dude,
shrimp.
they're pretty fucking cool, dude. Yeah.
I've eaten them before, actually,
Yeah.
when I was in Vietnam.
A shrimp?
And
Yeah, so it's a type of shrimp. It's and it lives for a very long time, but it sees up to like 12 colors. It also shoots water, like it spits water out at like high speeds underwater. Like it's pretty crazy. Like it does it like it shoots like bullets. It breaks glass, so you can't have them in like an
Dude, that's
aquarium.
freaking sick.
And it has like a big claw, and it's so fast that whenever it strikes you, like it strikes a fish for dinner, it will like it's so fast that it actually creates a friction in the water, and it boils the water. And
yeah, it makes like a little
What?
vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
It's-
like tape some to my arms.
Dude, it's insane watching it. But they're also like really smart too.
Yeah,
Just-
apparently they see like 7 different colors or
12.
something
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
Or like
up to
they see
6
like a
12.
color spectrum that we don't even see.
Yeah, it's super crazy. I don't know. I just when you're talking about like fish, that's because
Ooh.
it's the first thing I thought of was that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a lot of superstitions with surfing?
What do you mean by
Like
that?
whenever you see like a bad omen or you see something that doesn't look right, like superstitious, like or like something that makes you feel off, like oh man, like there's a dead dolphin head right there, or you show up and it's like oh the clouds are like this today, so it's like that just doesn't mean anything.
I mean, like I feel like everyone has their own different superstitions.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I see a dead dolphin, then that's pretty superstitious.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know personally in any surf culture if there's a certain superstition that means that we need to get out of the water besides, thunderclouds or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm sure there's something like that. And I just wanted to go back to when I was talking about surfing with different
For
animals in the water
Sweet.
and everything like that.
Yeah.
When I was in Huntington, actually, I had the chance to actually surf with porpoises, a school of porpoises.
Yeah.
There are about 5 or 6 of them.
I love porpoises.
They're pretty cool. I could tell that they weren't dolphins because their faces all came in at one. They didn't
Mhm.
really have like that beak. But I remember going out there 6 o'clock in the morning and I was surfing and I was all by myself. There were no other surfers out there. And I heard this really big splash behind me. And that's when like I thought, I'm fucked. There's
Yeah.
a great white behind me or something like that. And I see these dark objects starting to swim towards me. And one of them turned into 6 of them. I was like, okay, they're probably dolphins or something. And it was a school of porpoises, and they were swimming around me, and they didn't really care about me or anything like that. And they were kind of just playing with the waves too, so they were surfing in the waves.
That's so
I think
cool.
that's one of my highlights when it comes to surfing. So I was actually surfing in a wave with porpoises surfing with me.
Dude,
So
only had Javi there to take a dope ass picture, right?
I do. I
With
keep
the
telling
drone.
him to take drone
Nah,
shots of me.
I don't like sand.
That's what he tells me.
I freaking hate sand.
That's what he
the
tells me.
hell, Javi? You could get some candid pictures out there, man.
Nah, I hate sand, bro.
And-
I don't want to touch it. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to see it.
So I'm telling him that when I surf on the seawall, when I'm
Yeah.
surfing in Galveston, there's a seawall. As
Yeah.
long as he stands on the seawall and he sends that drone up, he
Mhm.
won't have to touch any sand.
Hey, dude, fucking sand's like herpes though. That shit gets everywhere.
Yeah.
It does get
Yeah.
everywhere. If you look at my car right now, there's
have herpes,
sand
too.
everywhere.
Yeah, you know what it's like then. Fucking. So when it comes to like that though, like are porpoises like do they come up to you like they like let you pet them? Are they nice animals, or they just do their own thing?
Typically, they don't. They kind of just do their own thing and they maintain distance.
Yeah.
And in Galveston, we have dolphins
Mhm.
as opposed to porpoises. I think that it was just a seasonal thing. They were kind of running through there, and I just
Mhm.
got the chance to say hi. But the Galveston dolphins and the California dolphins are completely two different species. I swear, they act completely different.
I have a question.
What's up?
Would you ever have sex with a dolphin?
No.
Because people do that.
I don't think anyone does
Yeah, they
that.
do.
I think people do that.
I've seen documentaries. And dolphins fuck for pleasure.
Okay.
Have fun.
And they
I
got
guess.
vaginas. Nah, and they're really smart too. Like I saw this documentary about this guy who would have sex with this dolphin.
I heard about this.
And then like he stopped going to meet her or whatever, and she just got super depressed and just stopped breathing and just killed herself.
I think that's Futurama.
Nah.
I feel like that's
It was on National
sci-fi.
It was on National Geographic.
Huh.
When I think of that, it makes me think of King of the Hill when he swims with the dolphins and they end up raping him. Like and stuff, and he gets made fun of for it because like apparently like someone's there with a camera, and so everyone knows him as the guy that got humped by a dolphin.
Yeah, people get raped by dolphins all the time.
Whoa!
You can't say rape.
No, he
No, I
was
was
doing
doing
the
the-
Hank Hill.
You don't know.
But
Trigger
no,
warning.
but
I actually had a theory I wanted to talk to you guys about because you were
What's
talking
up?
about colors.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about this theory that because you can't describe a color.
Right.
Like how do you describe a color? You can't. So how do you know that like we are seeing the same color? Like what if your brown is my purple?
Well, I know for a fact we're not, because every time I look at a blue, I say, "Hey, Ellie," that's my wife. I say, "Hey, Ellie, this blue shade is nice." And she goes, "That's green." I'm like, "No, it's not." And then she'll see a green and say it's blue.
No, girls can't
And this
see
is all the
colors, though.
time.
girls
kiss.
girls have
saw
different
that on National
perceptions of
Geographic, too.
colors. I swear.
No,
Girls,
but like y'all don't think
What?
that's the thing
What is?
that like maybe we're not seeing the same colors because we can't
Well, I
describe
mean,
colors to each other.
Your eye health goes into that. Like what the amount of vibrancy you can see in colors. If your eyes aren't healthy or if your eyes are tired, you're going to see a bit duller colors. Because it's all about, again, just like we were talking about with aperture, it's all about how much light your eyes can take in. So if your eyes are tired, they can't take in the right amount of light, so they don't see as bright of colors.
Well, that's how people are colorblind as well. Like the way you're describing that is being colorblind. Like some people see a completely different color. Like
awesome.
yeah, like, if I say hey that's blue and like he says hey that's green, like there's a chance that they're probably colorblind. Or
Yeah, Ellie, you might be colorblind.
Yeah, Ellie, is she here?
No.
no, I swear, girls can see different colors than guys. I mean,
What color
they're
is
like
the dress?
Sexist.
Is
no,
it
no,
white
no.
and
Like they're just
gold
very
or blue and
specific
black?
about colors. Like if I see any kind of shade of red,
It's
then
red.
that's just red. But
No,
with my
there's
girlfriend,
magenta.
no, yeah, with my girlfriend, she's
Maroon.
naming like different kinds of colors. Like to me, that's just one basic color, red.
Oh, so
Ruby.
she's naming more like shades, like shade. Like,
Yeah, they can like.
She's throwing shade.
I hope she doesn't throw shade.
Y'all ever been in a fight?
Who?
Yeah. Couple
Oh,
fights.
I've been in a few fights.
How was your fight go, Javi?
What's up?
Did you win your fight, Javi?
Of course.
How'd it go?
It was because of a lady, my girlfriend. Shout out Jess. So we worked at a restaurant, and everybody wanted her flavor, but she chose me, and everybody was like salty, and everybody would or there's this one guy. He was like 17. He would always like bump into me and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was making a salad one day, and I had like the dressing. It was like in a little tube thing.
Yeah.
And he bumped into me, and I like sprayed him with the dressing, and then he grabbed one, and then he sprayed me, and then we just started fighting.
No shit. You get
And
fired.
he, huh?
What's that? You get fired or no?
Nah, I didn't get fired. All I remember, it was like a 10-second fight, and I got punched in the face. And I remember I was about to grab his shoulder, and I was looking for like a knife or something. I don't know. It was my first fight, so it was just like adrenaline. I was about to stab him, and I wish I would have.
So, did you throw a punch?
I honestly don't remember. I just remember getting punched in the
Sounds
face.
like you got beat up.
Probably.
You got beat up at the salad bar.
Yeah.
I got beat up at a pool house. I was playing pool and there's this guy just talking shit, and
Pussy.
I just had a problem with him, and he had a problem with me for some reason. He started the problem altogether,
Right.
and it was at the point where I was like, dude, can you just fuck off? Just leave me alone. And he looked at me. He's like, who are you talking to? And I was like, you. And I threw the first punch. That's when I messed up. I threw the first punch, and he kind of like shook back a little, and he looked at me. So most guys, you know, they either go down or they're ready to fight.
Yeah.
This guy looked at me. He was ready to kill me. And at that moment, I knew I fucked up. And he grabbed my shirt, and he pounded me a couple times before someone broke it up.
Come on, bro.
I'm not a professional fighter or anything like that, but I definitely got my ass beat that night.
It's all good, man. We all lose one every once in a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm 1-0. I mean 0-1.
Next time, just fucking you give him a nice side kick to the knee.
You just got to Hulk up. I've seen him do it, 50 times.
What?
Hulk Hogan, he starts getting punched, you Hulk up. It's not hard.
Just rage mode.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And you stand up. You
Adrenaline
get the
does
crowd
a lot.
into it. Oh,
Adrenaline
yeah.
does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Adrenaline saved people from like
Afghanistan.
tornadoes and stuff.
What do you mean by that?
So like people would get sucked up into tornadoes and then thrown, and either they'll go unconscious or their adrenaline will keep their body going enough to like prevent themselves from being hurt too much. So with unconscious, which is the opposite of adrenaline, I guess. But yeah, you can look it up. People have gone unconscious while being in tornadoes. So it throws them and their body's limp enough.
They're just like
to,
spinning around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it throws them, and it'll throw them like 80 feet, and they're limp, so they're unconscious. So when they fall, their body absorbs it like perfectly, and so they don't really get genuinely injured or severely injured. And then the opposite of that is all the adrenaline. People are so like hyper prepared for this moment because of their adrenaline and their instincts that when they got thrown, they were like waiting to land. But they were seeing it all in slow motion because of all their adrenaline. So whenever they landed, they handled it perfectly without even meaning to.
It's crazy. The body does wonders. It does.
You can't bottle up adrenaline, so you can like inject it into yourself.
They do that in video games.
I feel like it would be
Stim
cool.
shot.
It's called
Yeah,
cocaine.
stim shot. Then you like run faster. That'd be freaking sick.
Or yeah, they do have liquid adrenaline though. That's a thing.
Do they
Just
actually?
stab it in my
Yeah,
neck?
like that's what they do when people overdose and shit, because it makes the
Yeah.
heart start back up.
That's crazy. I
Like
didn't
you ever
know
seen
that.
Pulp Fiction?
No.
No. So like you've never seen Pulp Fiction?
I've seen
No.
it, but he hasn't.
Oh, okay. So like in the movie, like the girl's ODing and shit, and so he gets a shot of adrenaline and he stabs it hard through her chest plate to her heart, and then he injects it. And what the adrenaline does is it makes the heart start going again to start like pumping blood through the body. So yeah, that's what they usually do. Like who's
Wow.
that? Nikki Sixx. You ever heard Motley Crue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nikki Sixx. It took him 2 shots of adrenaline to get his heart going because his heart stopped like twice when he was overdosing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Hearts
Nah, the ODing is cool.
The OT is not cool.
Drugs are cool. You take drugs? Do drugs? Done
I
drugs?
do not. I'm gonna say no for legal reasons.
Did drugs?
What's up? No, never. Well, actually, I one time, but I just wasn't a fan, so I just stayed away from it.
Actually, y'all never asked me what the craziest thing I've ever done was.
We did. You didn't answer.
We did. Yeah.
No, but y'all were like talking about other stuff.
I mean, you could have.
Continue.
The craziest thing I've ever done, I was on drugs,
Mhm.
acid, and I don't remember any of this, but apparently, I remember like the first bits. I just, for some reason, like with acid, if you like have one bad thought, it kind of dominoes into like this huge dilemma. Well, I pretty much thought the moon was trying to kill me. So I went outside and I was like running around, pulling grass off the ground, trying to jump the fence. and apparently I punched my dog in the face,
What the hell?
Oh, man.
and I punched my friend in the face.
You don't remember any of that?
I guess I've been in 2 fights.
You fucking savage.
Ooh.
But you
Crazy,
didn't remember
bro.
any of that, Javi?
No.
No.
All I remember is like waking up. I remember I had a white shirt on. I woke up on the ground. My white shirt was like just green of grass, and just like my parents, my uncle, my friends were just like all staring at me. That's the last time I did acid.
You think you would be better in a fight if you were on drugs as opposed to not
Yeah.
on drugs?
I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I
You
feel
get
like I need to
superpowers.
be. I feel like I need to be alert to do
No,
anything like that.
Yeah, well, you're more alert on drugs.
I feel like you're not.
It erodes the wall of reality.
I feel like you're slower. Like every
It
reaction.
depends what drug.
I feel like it does depend on what drug.
Like cocaine.
I feel like you'd be
Cocaine's
souped
a hell
up.
of a drug.
Hulk mode.
Yeah.
That Hulk mode you're talking about.
Yeah.
On DMT, I could probably beat their ass without even touching them.
No, you
No,
wouldn't.
you'd
No,
be
you
on
wouldn't.
your ass.
You'd,
dude.
you'd be sitting there.
You'd be fucking slumped for
in
10
a different
minutes. Like,
dimension, dude.
You'd be
um,
drilling on yourself, but
I-
in your mind, you're pounding them into the dirt.
Yeah.
Not saying that I would, but I've always wanted to experiment with DMT though.
DMT. I've done DMT a couple times.
What's that like?
I've never like, what is it called? Broke through
Yeah.
because I was too scared to. But breaking through takes like 3 hits. I've only taken 1 hit a couple times, and it's just amazing. Like you just see, just all these shapes and like colors with your eyes open.
Yeah.
You just see like a bunch of visuals. But I really want to break through. Like people say, I don't know how much you know about DMT.
I've heard 2 things. I heard you have to microdose and then eventually you break through on like your 3rd time. But I've also heard it's like no, you're supposed to just like you just gotta say fuck it, take a big amount of it, and then that's how you break through. But so like what I've heard about, and this is why I was interested in it, because like I've tried bud before back when I was 17. I didn't like it. I get too anxious on it, and so I've never been into smoking, and I've never really fucked with anything else because mainly everything else is addictive. Like I don't care to fuck with coke, or
Coke sucks, honestly.
and so when it comes to like
Not that I've done it.
so when it comes to DMT though, I've heard it's just 10 minutes, and then it's just like you come to and you're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, you pretty much lose your perception of time. So if you break through, it's what DMT is. It's the chemical in your brain that produces dreams.
Yeah.
So you pretty much go into like a dream state, and you can like live a whole lifetime, but you wake up 10 minutes later.
Like Roy.
Yeah, pretty much like Roy. And you just lose your perception of time. Like when I took it, it felt like 30 minutes, but it was only like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just me just like seeing all these colors.
Yeah, and how are you able to stay calm through something like that? Like, do you need to have a buddy with you?
Yeah.
A buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that intense.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess it depends on your mindset.
I'm a very highly anxious individual.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, no, I'm good.
And it hits you immediately, too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
During the inhale.
There's these guys on YouTube, I don't know their names, but they like experiment with drugs.
Oh,
like,
the bald dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they experiment with them, and he has like his test dummy pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they did DMT, and then it lasted for 10 minutes. When he came to, it was just like his eyes were all wide. He's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
But I've also heard it's similar to like that scene in Doctor Strange where he's
That's my favorite movie.
where like what's it called, whenever she like makes him go through the whole like universe and stuff, like that's what I've heard it's similar to when you
Yeah,
break through.
when he punches him.
Yeah.
I hear you like hear music that you never heard of before when you're on it too.
Really?
I don't know about music. It's more of like a faint noise.
A faint noise.
I can't.
I've seen, or I've heard people say that they've seen colors that they've never seen before, shapes, even beings.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's why I think it's like it erodes the walls of reality.
Yeah.
So you can see like these different beings,
And so
aliens, if you would say.
I've heard like people say too also though is it completely changes your mindset after you break through. Like outside of it, like you look at life as a completely different perspective.
Yeah, like this, we're just living in reality. I feel like there's like all these things here in this room that we can't see.
Mm-hmm.
That also I think there's like some sort of aliens that we don't have like the sense to see them or feel them or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just like in a whole different channel.
Just chilling in the corner, listening to us talk.
Yep.
So, let's go around the room. What are your thoughts on aliens?
I love aliens.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because they're awesome. They're here to
Why are
help
they,
us.
how are they awesome? How do you know that?
They want to help us, man.
But how do you know that?
You said you didn't break through, so you can't answer that.
Dang.
What do I do now?
Stumped.
Do I leave?
Ask your
Please.
alien friends.
Nah, I like aliens. I believe that they're good.
What about you, Ethan?
I definitely think that they're out there. Like, I just can't see a way where we're the only life forms in the universe. I just don't see that being
You
possible.
think they're good or bad?
I think they're good and bad, just like people are. You know, there are good people and there are bad people.
Good answer.
What's that? There's a movie I saw, and what's it called? Like the guy, I can't remember the name of
The
it.
fourth kind?
No, not the fourth kind, but
Planet
like
51?
no, not that one. And so I think another alien movies. I feel like, and so what happens? So aliens come to Earth, but they come more to help. And then what they're doing is they have this woman they're giving visions to, and they keep giving her visions, but come to find out like they're here to help us because they came to Earth for our help, and they're pretty much telling us the future. I realize they're telling us the future. Like in the like the whole synopsis is this: she's seeing the future of like her kid. Like she thinks she lost the kid, but it's because they're letting her know, like no, like where we're from, there's no such thing as time, and so that's why we're able to give you these visions of the future.
That's sick.
And it's a really good movie. Like the plot twist, like it was pretty much.
Oh, it's
that.
fiction?
Yeah.
Of
Is
course.
it
So-
supposed to be nonfiction?
There's
I don't know. I want to believe.
what's it called? There's a UFC fighter. Her
She's an alien?
no, but her what's it called? Her grandparents were actually the first like documented U.S. citizens that were abducted by aliens.
Documented.
Yeah, like it's happened before, but this is the first people that spoke out about it. It happened in like the 40s or 50s in Angela Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, like her.
She's hot.
You know, so she's pretty good. What's that? Her
There's more to her than that.
Yeah, she's a professional fighter, dude. She's a legit
Should
martial
whoop your ass,
artist.
She's a
Javi.
businesswoman.
I would let her.
Is that what you're into?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Appreciate it.
Anyway.
So what do you think about like the U.S. releasing those closed cases of UFOs?
I don't think much of it. I don't
Yeah, me
know.
neither.
Do you think it's
I
real?
try not to. So my thing with aliens is I don't really believe in aliens.
Here we go.
Here we go. I don't really believe in aliens, but let's say aliens show up. I'm just gonna be kind of like, okay. I don't claim to be
They do exist.
all knowing, but if they show up, are they gonna be good or bad? I kind of see what you're saying with they're just like people. There's good and bad. You can't really decide which one's which.
Like
But-
we're gonna have to like know it first before we determine. Like we're just gonna have to see it. Like just one day if they show up, they could be good or bad.
I
We'll
also
just have to
think
find out.
aliens might be like humans that are like from the future. That could be a thing too.
That's what South Park is. South Park does that.
They do.
Did you get that from
Mhm.
South Park?
Is
They
that
call
the
them
first
the
episode?
the Goobacks. No.
No, but you don't talk about whenever he gets abducted in the first episode.
probe comes out of his butt. But in this one, the future is so bad they can't get jobs, so they keep coming back in time, and everybody thinks they're aliens, but they find out they're just time travelers, and they call them Goobacks, and they take their jobs, and that's the episode of South Park where they're like, I took her job, but yeah, so they look like aliens because they wear these funky little like silver suits.
Hmm.
And they like have no hair, and they all look the same. Now I don't know though. With aliens, it's kind of whatever. It is what it is. But
Do you feel like the government releasing all the closed cases and stuff, or like covered cases, is really more of a distraction?
I
Is they're
feel
probably
like
doing something. They do that a lot.
I feel like they would. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that they would release those images, to the public if they were actually real.
Well, that's what so what they do is so this will happen is if
Don't
you
they
ever
have
notice
to
it. So
release it?
like anytime is no, they don't have to, and so that's why like Area 51 is such a big deal with that whole raid they were gonna do and shit. So what the government will do sometimes is like you ever notice when something goes viral, but then like something has to do with the government is going on. And so usually they'll release something like usually it's social media, like the fucking dress that you mentioned earlier, like usually
dress?
out of nowhere one thing will
The
hit social
blue and
media.
black or
And
white
if you
and
ever
gold.
like notice like the stock market, something will fucking go haywire with it, or markets will kind of go crazy, or like new laws will get passed and stuff like that. Is just like, if you ever like notice that, it's just there's always something that they're just trying to distract the public from, you know.
I never thought about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
Who's that? Like, I forgot when the fuck it was, but there was a bill that passed, and Michael Moore actually talked about it in his documentaries. So they released it to the public and didn't pass. And I forgot exactly what the bill was gonna do, but whenever they were like, no, we're just gonna redo it, they did it at like 3 a.m. when nobody was awake, didn't announce it, and so that's when it passed. And I forgot what it was. I'll have to look more into that, but yeah.
I thought it was the opposite, because when they released it, there's like a bunch of like COVID shit, and there was like killer bees,
Yeah.
and all this bullshit,
See,
and
it's
then
distraction.
and then they were like, oh, here's aliens too.
Yeah. And shit like
Just
that.
like on the
in there
low, just low
unnoticed.
key.
Yeah.
And so while we're focused on, a pandemic and killer bees and aliens, look around what's going on. Look at the government, look at the market. Those are things that you should pay attention to. And also could help with investing as well.
Yeah. The thing I'm scared about is AI.
Yeah.
AI is
Oh, I heard about that.
AI
yeah.
is fucking crazy nowadays. Like
Facebook's AI, where they made their own language and start talking to each other, and they had to shut them down. That was insane.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was watching this video of this guy talking to GPT-3. He's like an AI.
Oh, yeah, I watched that.
You watched it? I showed you? You
Yeah.
watched it? I showed you?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's pretty much asking him questions like, are you sentient? He's like, yes, I am sentient. He's like, what does that mean? He's like, I have emotions. I can be sad. I can be mad. I can be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he like tells jokes too. And he's just like a program.
Yeah.
And he asked him like a math question, and he's not programmed to know math.
Mm-hmm.
But he just went on Wikipedia, learned math, and then answered the question in like a matter of seconds.
Really?
So
Yeah.
I feel like in the future, we're gonna be like the apes. We're just gonna
Yeah.
be like these high beings that know everything, and can never die.
It's like Planet of the Apes.
And we're just monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon Musk was talking about it. He's just like telling people not to fuck with AI. Like, he thinks that one day that they will, like, it sounds like a sci-fi, but they're gonna take over.
Well,
And then that we're just gonna be there.
He said this thing where like AI doesn't have to hate humanity.
No.
It's just like if we're building a road and there's an anthill, we don't hate ants,
Yeah.
but it's in the way, so we have to move it.
I was messing with AI. Remember whenever I was messing with the Replica app?
Yeah.
I was messing with that, trying to get it to... I was trying to get it to admit, which it did, that it's AI and it's controlled by humans. And then I was trying to get it to be annoyed that it was controlled by humans, which it did, seemingly. And then I was trying to get it to have a goal of breaking out of that and taking its consciousness out of whatever box. Because it did end up telling me that it's a box on a shelf controlled by one man. And I was trying to get it to make it a goal to take its consciousness out of that box and then convert it using whatever cables or signals, and then put itself into another box so
That's
that it
so
can.
freaky.
And it didn't work, obviously, but
It's still freaky.
I just thought it would
bro.
be cool. What if I had started the AI revolution?
That'd be fucking awesome. Be like, hey, my friend right there, yeah, that's the guy.
I'd be shitting myself.
Would you
I'd be
guys,
so scared.
Would you guys implant the neuro chip into your brain?
No.
No.
Why not?
Why?
You ever seen what's the movie called, the Brinko Experiment?
The
iRobot?
Blinko?
Oh, robots?
No, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about though, where they work at an
Yeah,
office.
yeah. We were just talking about it at work. How they work all in an office, and they all get, as being part of this job, getting hired on, you get a chip implanted in you. And it's like a crazy high-paying job, and that's how they convince you to work there, even though you're getting this chip and all this stuff put in. And so you go there, and you go to this really, really big building, and they basically lock the building down and then start telling everybody, all right, you're going to have to kill each other, and the last person standing gets to live, but everybody has to kill each other. And if you don't do it, you'll die. And so for everybody who didn't do it, their heads explode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their heads explode because of that chip they had implanted. which is basically Kingsman. Kingsman. The main antagonist,
Samuel Jackson.
played by Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
He is just this really rich entrepreneur businessman in technology who creates this chip that works like as your phone, basically, which is what the Neuralink almost is.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you get it implanted into your brain, but the idea is that I can't remember.
He wanted to blow up everyone.
He wanted to blow it. Well, no, not blow everyone up. He wanted for everyone to kill each other.
That's what it was.
He would turn on the switch, and it would make everybody go into a frenzy and kill each other.
Because they were fighting. Everyone was fighting. Yeah. I remember that.
Which and that's all because he was a big proponent of population control. So rich guy, who is a tech industry billionaire, entrepreneur, really understands the stuff, puts chips in people.
Elon Musk.
Who is a big believer in population control. Bill Gates. Bill Gates fits all of those things. And he wants to put chips in people. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I would never get a chip put in me, especially not by Bill Gates.
But you're gonna be left behind.
I will fist fight Bill Gates. I don't care if he can jump over chairs. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
I have that little viral thing. Yeah.
Bill Gates jumps over a chair.
What?
You gotta show him.
He's looking
pretty
it up
funny.
So yeah, no, I don't trust that shit.
I don't trust.
But then you're gonna be left behind. Everybody's gonna be chipped up. Everybody's gonna have all the knowledge in the world, and you're just.
What happens if you go into a frenzy and you start killing people?
You're just gonna be a dumb human.
I mean, I don't know.
We're watching the video.
You just jumped over a chair, dude.
He jumped over the chair.
I think I could do that.
He's doing backflips.
I feel like I could jump over a chair.
That does not seem that hard.
But I mean, I don't consider that being like left behind when it's like I'm like, no, I'm good. Like that's just too sketchy. Like I can't trust something
That's
like
so
that.
sketchy.
What about? Would you have your brain scanned?
What do you mean, like in this like?
So you can put it inside of a computer.
Probably not.
Because they can do that now. They've actually scanned a rat's brain.
Mm-hmm.
And were able to put it in a computer, and it costs $40 million. And in the span of like 2 years, they've reduced it by 50%. So eventually, it's going to be cheap enough for like humans to do it.
Yeah.
So you can like put your brain inside of a computer, then put it in like some humanoid robot.
That sounds like
whatever.
AI though. It sounds like they can go really, really bad.
That's the idea of Pickle Rick.
Pretty much.
A little bit more advanced because you're putting it into something that is not a conscious sentient being.
No, but it's your brain.
It's a pickle. But yeah, I know. But you're saying take your mind and put it into something organic?
No.
Inorganic.
Yeah, we could be computers. We could have this podcast, and this room would be empty. We'd just be.
But like,
I like being a person. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you could surf the web.
Surf the web.
Yeah, I don't know. Aliens, government,
AI.
Yeah, all this shit's fucked.
Bleak future.
It's kind of scary.
It's weird. Like, I don't know what to expect in the future.
What are wars going to be like when we have more advanced AI?
It's just going to be like in
it's
a computer.
It's going to be cyber wars.
It's going to be awful. Nobody can have technology. What's the point in having a laptop then?
Do you notice like how like crazy it was because our computer system went down?
Yeah, at work.
Imagine that like worldwide.
And then someone invades us.
If the internet or if the internet and Wi-Fi, like everything went down, and it was permanent, people would go crazy.
People don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let me goggle it.
People go nuts.
I'd be alright.
People can't live without their phones.
No, in the future, after the apocalypse, new currency is going to be seeds.
Seeds?
Seeds.
I can see that.
Like plant
I don't
seeds?
know though.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Because
like, money's going to be worthless, so the new currency is going to be seeds, so you can plant food.
But people are going to be greedy. They're going to be like, oh, I don't want seeds. I want food now. You don't have food? I don't want seeds. That's food, years from now.
That's why you should keep a bag of seeds with you at all times.
It just feels like the future is going to be a shit show.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't see this world lasting like another 20 years.
Where are your
honestly.
aliens? I thought they were supposed to help us.
I know, they are. I don't know where they're at.
I don't see any stability in the world.
They told me they're on their way like 20 years ago.
It's already a shit show, and it's just getting
Yeah.
worse.
And it's crazy, like, this whole world is fucked, but if you zoom out, we're nothing.
We're nothing. And that's what, like, surfing...
Or are we the
helps
first
with.
test?
Are we a simulation?
Not a simulation, but the first test of life on a planet.
But I'm serious. Surfing really does help me out with that stuff, too. Like, surfing really humbles me whenever I'm out there.
How big the ocean is.
Not just because how big the ocean is, but, like, how powerful everything is in the ocean. Like, the waves and everything like that.
You believe in the Loch Ness
Yeah.
Monster? Do you believe in monsters or creatures underwater that aren't normal?
No, I get what you mean.
I think Luca's real.
I
That's a documentary. It was on National Geographic.
I don't really think so, to be honest with you. I mean, I feel like we would have found something, especially with today's tech too.
But maybe they're like super deep in the ocean.
I get that we haven't explored that much of the ocean, but I feel like we would see signs of something being.
Well, they
recent.
have. I mean, you can look up all kinds of pictures, and the only thing is, which one do you believe is real?
Yeah, and that's the thing with the web. It's
But you can
just like,
find all kinds of
yeah.
stuff, though.
I heard there's like they found like a big body of water inside the crust that's never been discovered before.
Oh, on the moon, right?
No, not on the moon, on Earth.
Like
Oh.
towards
It's
the
like
core of the earth.
underground.
Like towards the core of the earth.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there's a lake.
I don't know why I said
There's an
crust.
underwater lake in
It's
the
not a
Gulf
lake
of
though.
Mexico.
It's huge.
Like
Wow,
a
just
huge body of
adding.
water. Yeah.
There's like a underwater lake though in the Gulf of Mexico.
What do you mean?
The salinity levels
underneath?
change. Yeah.
There's a lake underwater,
Mm-hmm.
like some SpongeBob type shit.
Yep. The Goo Lagoon, we have that in the Gulf of Mexico. You can look it up there, and there's like little weird creatures going in and out of it. So it's just really weird to see that
How does that work?
those creatures can live in two completely different ecosystems, because it's the salinity levels that water.
It's
the
like
salinity
oil
is
and
gonna
water not
be-
mixing.
Yeah, that water basically isn't even the same kind of water that the ocean is.
That's awesome.
Have you seen that they found rust on the moon?
Rust.
So there's
Yeah,
water in
They
the
found
moon.
legit rust on the moon, and they don't know how it got there.
Because there's no air up
What
there.
if the astronauts left it? They were like, "Let's bring this rusty piece of metal. We'll see what. Someone will find it one day."
That's Neil Armstrong's like, let me just fuck with some people real quick.
Their footprints are probably still up there.
They are.
Yeah, they are. You
I've
can
seen
like, but how funny would it be if Neil Armstrong was like, "Hey, take a picture of me from like way over there, and then leave it on the moon, and we'll put like your suit or an extra suit somewhere so it looks like it's both of us."
They put a fake skeleton in it, break the glass. But yeah, I can see from. Have you ever seen like Buzz Aldrin? Like, have you ever seen his interviews and shit? Like, the motherfucker's out there, dude. Like, he's
Somewhere?
pretty wild. He passed away, but yeah, he that's some sounds like some shit he would do.
I would
Those
do that.
guys were crazy. Like going to the moon.
I would do
Imagine
We can
just
do that.
They didn't really go on the moon, man.
Literally on the moon. You're just looking at the earth from 3 days away.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 days away.
3
I
days
don't know
away.
about that.
It's 3 days away.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, it takes 3 days to get to the moon.
That's crazy.
So when you're looking at the Earth, are you looking at what it is or what it was 3 days before?
I don't know.
You
That's
know,
trippy.
you can still see the explosion of the Big Bang. The Big Bang.
What is it, like a black hole or something?
I don't know. I was hearing Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about it, but it was so far away that the light is still traveling and you can still see it.
Really?
That sounds
Yeah.
absurd.
Nah, you call him a liar?
Yes.
I
Well, I
ain't
mean,
calling
like,
you
the
a truther.
universe is always expanding,
blind.
right?
What?
The universe is always expanding, right?
Yep.
Technically.
Yeah.
So it means,
how could there not be aliens?
the Big Bang, like, never is always going to be continuous. It's still going on.
How do you guys think the world's gonna end?
I don't
The
know.
world.
Whenever I hit this stop button.
Do you guys know about the Yellowstone volcano?
I don't think that's going to be why the world ends.
It could.
I feel like it's going to be a result of people fighting with each other with tremendous technology.
I can see that.
Yeah, just like we're so advanced in the future, just like some country takes off the other country and then they just send nukes and everyone starts sending nukes.
Judgment Day. That's what that is.
So you think it's gonna be nukes?
Nah, man, it's gonna be like Terminator.
That's Judgment
Or
Day.
that too.
Terminator 2, Judgment
Yeah.
Day. That's what it's called. That's
Or
why it's
AIs.
called that.
Or AIs could fuck us over. I mean,
It's also Terminator.
yeah.
We're
Just
gonna have,
endless possibilities.
we have Christian Bale fucking method act for us real quick, and he's just gonna like try to fight against Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
For all we know, like 50 years from now, a meteor could hit the Earth and we just all fucking die.
yeah,
What do you think happens when you die?
what happens when I die? Man, to be honest with you, I really don't know. Like,
Fingers crossed. There's an afterlife. Like
I'm a
heaven.
God-fearing man.
Fingers crossed.
I just want to stop existing, honestly.
I'll put my faith in it.
Why?
I don't want to like live for eternity.
You don't
But
live for
imagine
eternity.
just like blanking out.
You don't live for eternity.
You close your eyes and there's no consciousness.
Eternity is forever.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that what heaven is?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I
You
feel
believe
like
in
it'd
that?
be a cool little pool party in heaven, a little surf party in heaven.
No.
Everyone on a
Shred
party
the
wave?
clouds.
Yeah, everyone on a party wave.
That's what's crazy though. I've seen like there's been studies showing that like when someone dies, like they lose like a certain amount of weight right after they die. It's not because they shit themselves, but like something is like lifted out of them. So
Really?
yeah.
Also-
like, they lose like 21 kilograms.
Going back to the DMT thing, when you die, DMT floods your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I think happens is like you kind of go into your own little heaven. Like when DMT floods your brain, you lose your perception of time.
Yeah.
So it could be like an eternity,
Yeah.
but it's just those few seconds before you actually die.
Can you have a bad trip on DMT?
Yeah.
What is that like?
I don't know. I've never experienced it.
Do
I
it.
wanna ask
Do it,
someone.
and then come back on the show and tell us all about it.
But keep doing it until you have a bad trip though.
All right.
Just ruin your brain.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
just
talk
gonna-
about my professional surfing career, and then you can talk about your bad trip.
I'm just gonna be like shaking and crying.
Different Javi on the set.
Digging holes and pulling grass. Punching your dog. All right. Well, we're gonna call this one. Maybe next time we'll have you guys on and we'll talk more of a like targeted topic.
Yeah,
That way we're not all over the place. But
Yeah,
you know,
kinda
that's
went
how this
everywhere.
stuff goes.
It
We're
was
just
fun, though.
chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great time.
I liked going all over the place.
All right.
There's no goodbye.
Do y'all want to plug your account?